middle class people, in my opinion, they have no business with a prenup. Right. They want to protect something that's really not worth protecting versus what they're actually should be receiving in a good marriage from a good
So,
partner.
because
Yeah.
most people in the world are either middle class or
Or
lower middle.
lower,
So
right?
it's
I
the
think
top
the
1% that you would agree
what is it
they
like ten
probably should get
percent
it.
of Americans make 100,000, which 100K ain't even 100K no
Yeah, I
more.
mean that's middle class. Like that's like
I don't even yeah, I don't I
in certain cities you can still get welfare. Like in LA, you make 100,000,
wow.
like you can still
Wow.
qualify for like food stamps.
Yeah.
And I think in New York it's 110 or something like that. So it's
Mm.
not that much money,
It
even though like
it
most
sounds
people
like
are
it, yeah.
infatuated with six figures and making 100,000. It's like
It used to be more
yeah,
back in the day, 10 years ago, even
yeah.
7 years ago, 100K was a lot of money.
Yeah, now it's like, I mean, your favorite car that you want is more than that.
Correct.
So you're essentially saying you do think some of the top 1% of earners or
Oh,
asset holders should probably have a prenup.
yes.
But
Yes.
barring, you an NBA player with $100 million,
Right, 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 right.
everybody
Yep.
else should probably. It's not
Yep.
even really worth the paper that you're signing.
Yeah, and I think to answer your question, the answer is yes. Those few top 1% or 0.5 percenters,
Correct. Yeah.
they have an advantage of having a prenup, and I think too they unfortunately attract people who probably don't have their best interests outside of finances, right? We see that online. Yeah. The girls just want the money, they just want the bag and the car. And so a lot of times it's unfortunate, but we see, ball players just accepting that. And so if that's going to be the case, absolutely protect yourself because there's no genuineness there.
Yes.
Right? There's no real foundation of a friendship, of a partnership. Like you said, you wasn't really shooting with me in the gym, and I know you probably after me just for what I have instead of who I am.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's definitely protect yourself.
Okay, we on the, yeah, see, that's what I said. We agree upon a lot more than
just these regular common folk. These 100,000, even these $250,000. Let's relax.
See, I'm an extremely ambitious person, and I came from nothing. Like I came from like the east side of Detroit. I had no money. I had nothing.
Yeah.
And through education and just God, really, because I tell people all the time, like I'm one friend away, like hanging out one night from being in the same situation that a lot of my friends was in. And it was really like, my grandma being strict and saying, be home before them street lights come on.
Praise God
and like
for
my
grandmas.
friends walked me home, and then went out and did nonsense, got caught up and locked up. And it's like, because I had someone who cared about me that made sure I was at home at a certain amount of time.
Yes.
I dodged a lot of things, but so I'm not a judgmental person.
Yeah.
Because I know where I come from, a lot of people that get jammed up and stuff, it don't make them bad people, but they just was in bad situations.
Yeah.
And their life is because of circumstantial stuff. They just was wrong place, wrong time.
Yeah.
They hanging out with their cousin that they love, their uncle that they love, and didn't know their uncle had a gun and didn't know this, or their uncle was into this and that, and they just get caught up in stuff. So the system is not like a black and white thing to where everybody in jail is guilty and everybody that's out living a good life is innocent, because it's a lot of guilty people in corporate America. That is, getting away with a lot of stuff.
Right.
So we agree upon a lot in terms of the prenup situation. I just think the problem is with me being an entrepreneur and being in business is knowing that where you start is not where you end. Like a lot of these athletes, I mean, you be knowing this guy 16, LeBron James. Come on, we know he's about to be the next,
right?
Whatever he's gonna make a lot of money. But that's not everybody's story. That's the top 1% of the 1% of the 1%. Most people are
average earners.
Average earners. You started out making 75,000, and now you happen to become this executive after 15 years, and you making millions and millions of dollars. But you don't have a prenup, so now the woman is walking away with $7.5 million of your stock.
But if you were married, she probably, if she was a good wife and a good partner, which is on the man to choose right and wisely, then she would have pushed you to get that anyway. You wouldn't have gotten it without a good partner. That is my opinion.
Yeah, man, that's the one that it's always hard to value because. I mean, just even think about it like this, like as simple as let's take business off the table.
Yeah.
Barack and Michelle.
Yeah.
Like everybody look at, you becoming the president. I'm on record, he wouldn't have been the president if he didn't have Michelle.
Oh, for sure.
Like it's just
hell, we wanted her to be the second president.
It wouldn't have happened, right? Like we just know it wouldn't have happened, because even if he was with, let's say he was with a white woman.
Yeah.
Black America wouldn't have bought that. They would have been like, he ain't black, he ain't this, he ain't that. And I feel like that was the part that, that was a big thing Kamala Harris ran into. It's like, oh, she's dating a white man, so is she really black?
That's
is
my
she for the black?
That's my
Is she for the black community? Is this, that, and the third? And this is like, just that narrative enough probably stopped millions of people from going out to vote.
Yeah.
So I believe in that situation, Michelle is just as powerful in getting Barack elected from that standpoint. And then they equal in everything, education, what all they was doing. I mean, she was older than him, so she was more seasoned than him and all of that. So I do agree from that standpoint. I just think it gets hard, man, when you start providing a lifestyle for women, and a lot of times they're not contributing, quote unquote, shooting in the gym from your standpoint that you would like.
Right.
And when you blow up and make all this money, and now they're like, okay, I deserve half. I just don't like the half part. I do think women deserve something, or men deserve something. Like, I just don't think they deserved half. And I'm not a biased person from a man or woman.
Yeah. Why do you not believe they deserve half when there's literally two people in the marriage?
I think it's situational. Let me give a difference. Okay, like Candy Burris and Todd Tucker, whatever. They just got divorced.
Yeah, they did. It was unfortunate. Fulton County.
Okay, right. That was
records are public.
right around the corner, right? Okay. Yeah. They had a faulty prenup that got challenged.
They
in court,
all get challenged.
But so he got a large lump sum. So he got like $500,000. He got some cars and all of that. No child support, no alimony, no spousal support, and he walked away. I think that was actually fair, considering when they met each other, she was a star. He was doing he was like a producer or whatever. Not downplaying that, because I mean, he was doing his thing. But I don't think he should have walked away with half of her net worth. If that net worth would have been, let's just say her net worth would have been $10 million. I don't know if it is, but let's just say, I don't think he should have walked away with $5 million. But I do think he should have walked away with something. Based on my calculations, and when I read the documents, he walked away with probably about $1 million.
And so,
in assets.
One thing I forgot to mention too, specifically for the state of Georgia, is that marital misconduct plays into the cheating, equitable distribution, cheating, abuse. Absolutely, I don't really know the facts of Candy and Todd, but if you can really show you were a good partner, right? You were on the straight and narrow.
I didn't know that.
You're probably more likely to hit that 50, even though you didn't physically bring it in. But when you can show marital misconduct, I'm leaving you because of this, I'm leaving you because you mentally and financially and physically abused me, or all the factors under the Georgia law that states why you could file for a divorce, judges take that into consideration, right? And so if somebody came to me and I was a presiding judge, and there was 10 million, on the table within the marriage, like the marriage was valued at 10 million. And I heard these terrible facts of mistreatment. What you mean you stayed all night? You didn't take care of the kids. You never took the kid to school, and the doctor appointment. And I'm hearing that emotional imbalance. No, I'm not going to give you 50%. You ain't do 50% of the work.
So you would give them, okay, hold on. So you would give more than 50% in that situation? Judges do that?
Oh, yeah, they do that. So in Georgia, we don't have, like a mathematical formula as to percentages. Everything is based off of fairness. And so you bring the facts of your marriage into the courtroom, and that's how things are divided. Now, a lot of times things are still divided 50-50 because, like you said, judges are lazy, and they got a million cases.
Right.
Now, if your facts are very unique, very special, you have a really good attorney, then the 50% may be plus or minus.
Listen, if you hide, see, it's so hard because even if you high net worth person and you getting married and they challenge the prenup. Like
prenups get challenged all the time, especially
what
the
percentage
longer
you
the
think?
marriage moves forward.
Because in like California, they got like a law where if after 10 years the prenup is basically useless. I mean, they don't even acknowledge.
California's real liberal.
Yeah, they don't even acknowledge a prenup after like 10 years or something like that. It's crazy.
And Georgia probably wouldn't either. That's just a long time to have said, you know what, it's 2026 right now. We drafting this up. We think this is gonna be best.
Hey, you signed that paper. I'm gonna have a video. Ain't that you signing that paperwork?
Wasn't that you? Ain't that
this
your
you,
signature?
Right? This you.
Yeah.
But
no,
Cynthia,
it's just
man,
difficult
you've
because
been...
you know things. And my last point on that is, 10 years go by, and during the prenup process, everybody had their limbs. 10 years into it, somebody had cancer. You had somebody, take a lesser position at work so I can take care of my husband so he can get to the right doctor. I mean, those things are just invaluable, and the court knows that. And so, they're going to give 50 because, all work is not viewed the same. Emotional work is a lot of work.
Yeah, and then, unfortunately, women get the short end of the stick a lot of times when it comes to things like that. I actually have a situation where it's kind of the thing is reversed, where the man was the one kind of staying at home raising the kids, and the woman went out and she became a nurse, and then she's like furthering her career, and she's like making good money, and now like they're getting a divorce, and on paper, this guy seems like you ain't got no career, you ain't got and he's like 50, and like everybody's looking at him like
he held the house down.
He held the house on, but on paper, or like when you look at the holistic part of it, he's a great man. He held the house down. But like now that they get a divorce, people are going around with this narrative. I'm talking about the people that I know. They're going around with this narrative like he ain't enough for her and he ain't did this. And I'm just like, that happens to women every day, where the man makes a bunch of money and then he tries to frame it as if she ain't shooting in the gym and help her out. And I don't think, like I said, I don't think after a certain amount of money that it should be 50-50, but I do think women should be equitably paid for their labor and their mental fortitude, everything that they put into the relationship, because if not, there will be a lot of situations where after about 20 years, the kid's older, you rich, you can just get rid of your wife and say, hey, look at this prenup you signed when we was 19.
Right.
And, and she walk away. She ain't go to college. She ain't
exactly.
It's a lot
that's
of stuff
that
you give up. So I do.
Chose.
Yeah. But Cynthia, you've been dope. You educated me on a lot of stuff. I'm pretty sure you're going to get a lot of feedback from this.
Yeah.
How can people find you? What's the best way to reach out to you if they wanted to check out your services or whatever?
Absolutely. So my business phone number is 866.
Oh, she get a business phone number. I'm sorry. Go ahead. You threw me off with that one. Go ahead again.
It's 866 Law Root, and then my Instagram is Cynthia.thefamilylawattorney. You guys can send me a message. I'm pretty responsive, especially to my dads. That knowledge and information is so crucial, and I want dads to really be a part of their children's lives, especially earlier on. Don't wait until your kid is 9. Don't do that. Do it right away. So that's how you guys can get in contact with me. I appreciate it, James, for having me out. This is an amazing conversation. It was very fun and hopefully very informative for you guys.
Yes. All right, guys. Love you guys. Appreciate you. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. We're going to continue to bring fabulous guests like Cynthia and bring you an education. I learned a lot. I'm pretty sure you guys learned a lot as well. Yes. Peace. Thank you guys for watching. I want to make a deal with you. On my end, I'm going to produce high quality, informative content for you to enjoy and learn from. And on your end, you're going to subscribe down below to the podcast. Now we have a 50-50 deal to build this independent media company together. And if you want to invest with us and ensure our success, subscribe down to the YouTube membership. It really, really helps us hire journalists, hire videographers, and do the investigative journalism and independent journalism that you love and that you learn from.